Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's going on? I'm riding solo today. No, not really. What's going on? The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Konavi and the Star Six Media platforms. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on TikTok, MySpace, all the social media platforms. Make sure you guys follow us on that under the Star Six Media page. I'm Eric Avila. I'm running solo dolo for about I want to say 10 minutes or so. Jose will be hopping on shortly. John won't be with us today. So right now I'm carrying the show on my back like I always do each and every week. If you guys want to follow us or join us, here's a link up on the Facebook page, YouTube. What else we got? Yeah, YouTube under the Star 6 Media and the John Konavi Facebook page too as well. Link is right there if you guys want to join us. Either you could join us, with the camera or just on the microphone. It doesn't really matter. Link is there for you guys and all of us. We got a great show for you guys today. As again, like I said, I'm riding solo for 10 minutes, but it's the best. It's going to be the best 10 minutes of the show until Jose comes in and ruins it, or CP comes in and makes it better, or anybody else comes in and makes it better with that. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Franchise tags were yesterday. Lamar Jackson got tagged again, but if you guys want him, you got to pay a premium. Aaron Rodgers, after coming out of darkness, says he wants to follow Brett Favre's footsteps. And a Chicago Bull came out and said that this team sucks, which I've been saying throughout the whole entire year. We'll see which one is that. That and a lot more. The Chicago Bears, Ryan Poles being chesty, would say what he's saying with his chest. If you want it, come get it. For the first round pick after the draft combine this past weekend. I had eyes and feet on the ground for that one. See who was my eyes and feet down there in Indianapolis, and a lot more. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Franchise tags were the due dates yesterday. There was a lot of people that got tagged. Saquon Barkley got tagged after Daniel Jones got paid. Woo! Did Danny Dimes got paid? Who would have thought? Who would have thought a guy that only threw 10 touchdowns and ran for 7 could have gotten $45 million in that much years? Can you believe that? Can you honestly believe that? That is absolutely insane that Danny Dimes got paid that amount of money. But it's part of the NFL. He got paid. Orlando Brown did not get the franchise tag by the Chiefs, which makes him a free agent. But the one that surprised, well, not really everybody, but surprised some people that he got paid by the franchise tag once again is Lamar Jackson. I want to know what you guys think on here and put it on the comment section yourselves. See what you guys think. Lamar Jackson getting the non-exclusive franchise tags, which means if there's any teams out there that wants Lamar Jackson, they have to give up 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson in order for them to, or have a qualifying offer, whatever the case may be. But 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Ravens said they want to pay him once again. There's been a separation between both organizations, player and organization, on Lamar Jackson wanting to get paid for a long-term contract. And it's a tricky situation. I mean, hey, he got paid. He's with the Ravens, but the last couple of seasons he's been hurt. And it's a longevity thing that he needs to. It's a longevity that he wants. He wants the long-term deal. He wants to get paid, fully guaranteed. I believe is what I read or heard not so long ago. That's what Lamar Jackson wants, and it's something that a lot of people say he deserves. Right? He's an MVP candidate. Without the Ravens, without Lamar, the Ravens aren't really nothing of a football team. So they say. So they quote. And I want to know what you guys think. Did Lamar Jackson get disrespected once again? That he got tagged under the franchise tag once again, and another quarterback that's way below par got paid $45 million a year. I think Danny Dimes got 80 some odd guaranteed. But I want to know what you guys think. I think, me personally, it's another disrespectful move from the organization that they feel like they can move on from this quarterback, MVP quarterback, that basically without him, in certain cases, but basically without him, they really don't have a chance to compete, not even for that tight NFC North, right? Where you always have the Steelers, or I'm sorry, not NFC, AFC North, where you always have the Steelers year in and year out, where you always, now that whatever Cleveland Browns team with Deshaun Watson a year under his belt after his hoopla that has happened with him in his life within the last couple of years, And obviously, you have the Bengals, who have been to two straight AFC title games, went to one Super Bowl. The Ravens are in a tough competition and division, and you guys are playing this game with him and not giving him his money. And I get it. I get it. There's times and instances that you see, and you're going to see that these NFL quarterbacks get paid top dollar. That these NFL quarterbacks get paid this amount of money, and the team suffers, and the organization suffers, right? Unless if this team is taken to a whole nother level, where you could find talent in the draft, where you can get players for the cheap, or you could do this and do that. You can you it's hard to build a team to win a title with a quarterback that's getting paid this amount of money. And I understand that, right? But there's some instances in this game, in this NFL, where a quarterback deserves that money. A la Patrick Mahomes. You find a way to salary cap that. Um, I guess you can say Aaron Rodgers too. He's part of that conversation where we're going to talk about him a little later on in the show. You can say you're probably saying now Joe Burrow will be in that list. You could probably put Josh Allen on that list. You can maybe put Trevor Lawrence in a couple years in that list. Obviously, you put Russell Wilson because obviously he's the one that started this whole entire thing. But Lamar Jackson is one of those players where you put him on this list and you give the man whatever he needs or whatever he wants to put in. Simply because he deserved it. He puts this organization on his back. Without him, this team really doesn't go anywhere. As you can see when he was out, that you underperform underwhelming underperform in this division, in this conference. And even without that much weapons outside of Mark Andrews, and I guess you get Hollywood Brown in there for a couple years before you traded him away, you still get top-notch performances. He has a single-season rushing record, which was a record that kind of no organization wants for a quarterback. You have it anyways, and it's one of those reasons why, like, you give the man his money. But I get it in a standstill when a guy who has been hurt for the last 2-3 years, you don't give him his due. As we welcome in Jose into the show, man, you know what? 10 minutes. Yeah, I called it 10 minutes. I know he was going to arrive 10 minutes late here. So I called it just right. Jose, what's up, buddy?
I'm here to save everybody from listening to you all day.
Oh, no. Let's see, I'm whatever.
All right, what are we talking about?
All right, so we're talking about Lamar Jackson and how he got ultimately disrespected once again by the Baltimore Ravens. As on the same day that he got franchise tag, Daniel Jones, who only scored like 10 touchdowns, and I know I'm over exaggerating on the number of touchdowns that he has scored, right? He got 45 million a year, whatever the number was, from the New York Giants, and Lamar Jackson once again got franchise tagged. Did Lamar Jackson once again got disrespected by the Ravens, Jose?
Disrespected? Did he just get disrespected? Is your question? He's been getting disrespected.
I'm telling you, man.
It's just it's ridiculous. The fact that, well, I don't know. I don't know how Daniel Jones getting paid is disrespectful to Lamar Jackson. The thing is about Lamar Jackson is that he that type of quarterback, he's an elite tier, and he's gonna garner so much money coming to him. What Daniel Jones is getting, that's just telling you how much the Giants value their quarterback. The Baltimore Ravens don't value Lamar Jackson at all, and which is surprising to me, right? Because you would think being in the AFC, with all the quarterbacks that are there, all the elite quarterbacks that are in that conference, you think that they would lock Lamar Jackson down for X amount of years because you're going to be competing in a way tougher conference, in a way tougher division. You know what I mean? And it's like the teams that you face in your own division know you so well. The Browns now having a full season this year coming up with Deshaun Watson. The Steelers only getting better with Kenny Pickett. The Cincinnati Bengals, who went back-to-back AFC champions, went back-to-back AFC championship games. It's like, if you're the Ravens, how do you not sign Lamar Jackson long term when you have a quarterback who was MVP early on in his career, when you have a quarterback winning like 64 games, went 45-14. I know my math doesn't add up there, but you get what I'm saying.
I hear you loud and clear,
It's
bro.
crazy.
It definitely is, and again, and the only reason why I say that once again got disrespected was because again, Daniel Jones, who only threw I think it was like 15 touchdowns throughout the whole entire season, he's getting paid. He's getting paid. I think it was like 40 some odd $1 million a year, and 80 of it is guaranteed in this contract that he got.
Come on,
So
if we're gonna talk about it, let's be legit, man. 4-year contract, $160 million,
yeah,
82 million guaranteed
yep,
money.
guaranteed money, and they used the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley to keep him for another year, for to keep that offense going. Because Saquon, a healthy Saquon with that team, you saw where they went. They ended up winning and going into the playoffs and actually getting out of the first round until getting blown out by the Eagles that play in their division 2 times a year. Jose, this time it's a little bit different. Now that he signed this franchise tag, it's an exclusive tag to where if teams want Lamar Jackson, they have to at least give up 2 first round draft pick. If you were, let's just say, I mean, I can't say the Miami Dolphins simply because they don't have a first round draft pick this year. But if you say like the Raiders, the Texans, teams that desperately need a quarterback, would you give up those 2 first round draft picks for Lamar Jackson to help your team?
Me personally, if I had a football team, absolutely. If you have someone like Lamar Jackson, who I believe could be a generational type talent player, available, then why wouldn't you try to go for him? And you have plenty of teams out there with quarterback issues. But believe it or not, Eric, there's already 5 teams that came out and said they want nothing to do with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I saw that too right
The
before the
Washington
show.
Commanders, who we all thought were in on Lamar Jackson, now all of a sudden doesn't want Lamar Jackson. The Atlanta Falcons,
Yep.
for whatever reason, they were such a competitive team with Marcus Mariota, and for whatever reason, they don't want Lamar Jackson. The Carolina Panthers do not want Lamar Jackson. And the Baltimore Ravens right now, the fact that the fact that they're not interested in Lamar Jackson, or at least re-signing him, and yeah, they franchise tagged him, but that's if another team comes out of nowhere and offers them a lot of money, they're not going to match it. For what? They don't want him. They're not going to match it. So you can count them as a team that doesn't want Lamar Jackson. It doesn't make sense to me, especially for the teams I mentioned in Atlanta and Carolina. Because if you think about this, Eric, think about this. In the NFC, who is the number 1 quarterback? Let's say Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets in the AFC. Who is the number 1 quarterback in the NFC? It's Jalen Hurts by miles. After Jalen Hurts, then it's probably someone like Dak Prescott and then Kirk Cousins. You're telling me if you're the Atlanta, Eric, stop. You're telling me if you're Carolina and Atlanta, if you get someone like Lamar Jackson, you're telling me you don't have the best quarterback, if not the second best quarterback in the NFC. You're telling me that doesn't put you over the hump? You're telling me you're not instantly a playoff team. You're telling me you're not instantly an NFC championship type team. There's no other quarterback with his accolades in that conference.
Right.
Let alone in that
even skill set alone.
Let alone in that division, because they're both from the NFC South. Tom Brady's gone. Aaron Rodgers seems to be one. He wants out.
Well, the Saints got Derek Carr.
Justin Fields, yes, is no, come on, don't give me that. Justin Fields, yes, is improving.
Why? Derek Carr is an okay quarterback, bro.
But we have yet to see Justin Fields even get on the level that Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts is on right now. So instantly, it's Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. So why wouldn't you want someone like Lamar Jackson? It just baffles me. It really does.
Yeah, I know, and again, it's that high price. Now that he got the exclusive tag, and now you have to give not 1 but 2 first-round draft picks. I think teams are gonna be a little hesitant because at the end of the day, you still have to pay this man, whether the amount of money it is. And I get it. Some organizations, and they're gonna see that. Well, the last couple seasons he's been hurt. He hasn't really played a full season, and that's given the way how he plays. That he runs most of the time. It depends. It depends on what he has, but obviously and honestly, all he has to throw to is Mark Andrews, and everybody else is kind of like they're just there. You know, it doesn't really make him a decent pocket passer as much. I mean, his accuracy is pretty well, but his outside of Mark Andrews, he has nobody really that reliable. And you given the opportunity, like you said, like the Atlanta Falcons, like you literally just said, they instantly get the second best quarterback in the NFC if they do somehow, some way get Lamar Jackson into the sweepstakes. And you're absolutely right. By default, and you're right. After Jalen Hurts, who's next? And I say Derek Carr simply because at least he's been there, done that a little bit more. And you say Dak Prescott, which is a good argument too as well. That's another legitimate person. When healthy, you can probably say Matthew Stafford too as well. But it's still a significant drop off from Jalen Hurts down to anybody else afterwards. And you're right. And if you don't trade, especially in the NFC, which to me is wide open, if you don't get Lamar Jackson in this conference, you are basically taking a step back in the wrong direction and just hoping that these picks that you want to keep pan out at the end of the day, because what's more important in this league is having a quarterback. We're gonna bring in our he's not even an honorary member anymore. He's part of the JCA Sports Podcast, and our boy CP. What's up, man? How are you?
What's good, man? I saw you hopped on by yourself, but then I see Jose here now.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, I called it. I said 10 minutes. He got on here with like 9 minutes and 45 seconds into the show, which I was doing pretty damn fine myself. I want to
always on time, Jose.
I can't save y'all from Eric, man.
No, that's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we were talking about CP about the disrespect the Ravens are once again showing Lamar Jackson, franchising tagging one more year, and also that another team who is superly subpar in his playing style, and Daniel Jones getting the bag, getting 140 some odd million for 5 years, 80 some odd million guarantee. CP, come on, man.
Oh my God, the disrespect. Like you said, bro, the disrespect is so real. To hit him with this tag, if anybody should have been hit with the tag, it's Daniel Jones. Like, I get it. He led the Giants to the playoffs, and they won one game against a terrible Minnesota defense, right? Why not put him on a tag and make him prove it again this year? Show me you can do that. Show me this wasn't just a fluke and that you can do this again. Which, by the way, 15 touchdowns in 17 games. That don't sound like $40 million a year to me anyway. But the fact Lamar Jackson just got hit with that tag, like, I can't even imagine how angry he is, the pain he's going through. When you think of the Ravens, who do you think of? When you
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, he is the Ravens. He's the only reason people even bring them up when they talk about the AFC.
Exactly.
And you hit him with this tag like he's just like another random quarterback. Like, oh, I mean, you can go talk to other teams. And don't even get me started on those other 5 teams that said, oh, we're good. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Like, what type of winning are y'all trying to do saying y'all don't need Lamar Jackson? Are you serious? Atlanta? Are you serious? You're rolling with Desmond Ridder? That's who you're rolling with? Marcus Mariota? But you're good on Lamar. That's why those other teams go and continue to stay where they are, because they think like they do.
No, you're absolutely right. And we just said it. Like, if you get Lamar Jackson, Atlanta, you automatically get the second best quarterback in that conference in Lamar Jackson after Jalen Hurts.
He would literally put them at the top of the NFC South without question. If he goes there,
like this, the best quarterback in that division is Derek Carr.
Carr,
guys, he's instantly the better. He's probably instantly the best quarterback in the conference, guys. You could put him. There's an argument you could put him above Jalen Hurts. That's the thing. If you're anybody in the NFC,
he is above Jalen Hurts to me.
There you go.
He is.
Yeah. There you go. It doesn't have to be any team in the NFC South. If you're a team in general in the NFC who needs a quarterback, that is your guy. I mean, you're giving up 2 first-round picks. Do it. Run it. You're going to have a legit quarterback for years.
Right. And Atlanta's got a few nice pieces. They've got the Drake Londons on the world. They got the Tyler Alliger at running back. They got some nice pieces there. Kyle Pitts at tight end.
Yeah.
You put Lamar behind that, and you got something. And I don't know.
I'm
I don't
surprised
understand
Washington isn't jumping on this. This team the team looked really competitive. They looked like a team that with Taylor Heineke, they looked like a team destined for the playoffs. They were going to be a tough out for anyone, and for them to pull out, it's like, what is this?
And not only that, and the players that you mentioned too, you're also going to get a quarterback in Lamar Jackson who is still 26 years old.
That's the best part of it.
Young,
He's not
about
nowhere
it.
near old.
And I get it. And my boy Tony, what up, Tony? How are you, man? He's on the comments saying, "What has Lamar done for in his entire NFL career?" I mean, look,
he can't be serious.
MVP.
MVP.
Obviously he has the rushing record. And I get it. His stigma on this one, and I get where Tony's going. That in the playoffs, he really hasn't shown as much. I think he only has.
But not many other quarterbacks in the league has. I mean, you can name off your hands how many quarterbacks is really competitive in the playoffs. We could put Josh Allen in that same argument.
This is true, and I hear you 100%. But he has better, like Jose said, accolades than probably any other college quarterback that's coming into this draft this year. And honestly, better accolades than probably 60% of the quarterbacks that are playing in today's game right now. Probably even more. So again, Atlanta I think we're just only picking on Atlanta because it's kind of like one of the one teams like, you have the right pieces around. You just need a quarterback to fix this. And the best quarterback available is Lamar Jackson, where you have to give up 2 first-round picks. You don't have to give them this year. Obviously, it's back-to-back years. But it automatically puts you in that level. But you'll be set
at quarterback, which is so hard to do, which is so hard to find. It's the most important position on a team.
Exactly. And so it just fits. But for them to be like, nah, we're good. Just like the Panthers, nah, we're good. Just like who else was on that list, Jose, that you mentioned? I saw it earlier.
It was the Panthers, the Falcons, the Washington Commanders,
and just the Raiders was on that list too.
The Raiders
right?
on that list too.
The Raiders, like really?
You know what?
You just lost your quarterback for the last 6-7 years in Derek Carr.
I just got a notification that said all those same teams are eyeing Jimmy G. That's who they're going after. That tells you everything. They're just being cheap. That's all this is in this situation. I think without those picks, all those teams would be interested.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow the Star 6 Media on Instagram. Jose just kicked himself out, which is all good. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, the Star 6 Media page, along with our Facebook page, YouTube page, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you we have a great follow. We put a lot of sports content up there for not just our show, but all our other shows too, as well as we're moving on to the next segment. And so, first things first, TP, would you close yourself, I guess, in complete darkness for 4 days?
Cut myself off from
from everything, and then you're in a room in complete and utter silence other than your inner thoughts.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch. I kind of lose my mind after the first day, probably. that's a bit. I mean, everybody needs that type of break. I get it. Some people are built for that. I'm an active person. I be on the move a lot, man. I can't sit in darkness for 4 straight days. Maybe 1, but yeah, 4 is a stretch. And I guess, if Rodgers needs that, I understand it. I respect it. But he's just that type of guy. He just needs to be on his own.
Well, he didn't do it for 4, but he definitely did it for 2 days. And after that, he called it quits. But even then, he came out of this, how do you want to call it? Darkness retreat? Darkness reform of himself, darkness something. I don't know what he tried to do, but him being in this room in pure darkness just to get his inner thoughts on what he wants to do. But now it looks a little bit more and more and more like that he's going to leave Green Bay to go to New York.
He's gone.
Yeah, and it finally feels like this is the last straw, that Green Bay was like, you know what, screw it. I don't care what he is or who he is and what he has done. We're good without him, and I think we're gonna just put our chips into Jordan Love, and this is how we're gonna roll, which is great, right? Because now him going to New York Jets, he's already going to a tougher conference with all the quarterbacks in that conference. He's also going to a tougher division where you have the Miami Dolphins who came out. If they need a quarterback coming out, then you have the Buffalo Bills who have a strong team on top of that too as well. And then you still have Bill Belichick and the Patriots in that division too as well. That won't be an easy battle as well. But it's eerie, right? It's kind of eerie how one former Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer went from the Packers to the Jets, and the guy that replaced him is doing and following the same footsteps as the guy before him. Guys, first things first, how does Aaron Rodgers fit, or will he fit with the Jets? Let's go with CP first. CP, do you think he will fit with the New York Jets? And you think he can handle the New York media? How sensitive he really is?
That's the important key right there. Aaron Rodgers, like with the Packers, is like that girlfriend you've been trying to break up with for years, but you just like you want to hang on because you see the small hope she'll come back and then she'll show, okay, maybe she's getting better. Maybe we can work this out, and then the shoe drops and it's just like, ugh. That's why I want to break this up. So finally, I guess Green Bay is at the point where they've had enough. They're ready to move on. And I understand it. $60 million. Is Aaron Rodgers playing like a $60 million man? No. I get it from the Jets' perspective from how competitive they were last year. And Zach Wilson was just so bad. And then you got Mike White in there. I forgot who was the other quarterback he's doing now. Flacco, was it?
Yeah.
Flacco.
It was just rough, but like the Jets were still competitive in these games. So I get it why you want to, push all your chips to the table and be like, okay, maybe if we put Aaron Rodgers in there, maybe we can get it done. But my problem is like Aaron Rodgers, like he isn't playing like he was in 2018, 2019, those MVP years. I haven't seen that. Last year was just and he's making all this money. Derek Carr, I know people would call me crazy for this, but Carr would have made a little more sense to me considering he's 31. He probably would have had to give up less, and he matches those young Jets players, whereas Aaron Rodgers, he's probably going to be here for what, a year or two? Like, you never know when he's going to call it quits. So, like, Jets are pushing their chips to the table, and I understand it, but like I just feel like it's a weird move at the moment. And then the media, like you said, like, Rodgers is one of the biggest divas, if not the biggest diva quarterback I've seen in years. New York is going to eat him up alive, bro. This isn't Green Bay, Wisconsin, the small town where we're just, this is New York, bro. And you know how New York gets. They're going to ask the dirty questions. They're going to ask Aaron Rodgers all the questions he's going to feel uncomfortable in answering. Is he going to, how's he going to act when the Jets struggle and they be on his ass about that? Like, is he going to step up and be a man and be a leader, or is he just going to cry again like he's done in years past? And those Jets fans, they're going to be on him about that.
No, you're absolutely right. And we go on the comment section right here. My boy Tony says he's going to ruin the Jets. He doesn't know what the Jets are thinking, and he agrees with you, CP, that Derek Carr would have been a better fit.
I don't think
for the New York Jets. You don't think so, Jose? Why don't you think that Derek Carr wouldn't be a good fit?
I don't.
Why would you think that Aaron Rodgers is better? Obviously, I think we know the answer to that, or whatever case your answer is going to be. And do you honestly think that he'll handle the media pressure of New York well?
Don't worry about the media. Aaron Rodgers has media pressure no matter where he goes, even here in Green Bay. The media is on Aaron Rodgers anywhere he goes, bro. They're always going to criticize him. They're always going to give him slack or for whatever the hell he's doing. And he's just going to play the quarterback. He's going to play the position he knows how to play, and he plays it very damn well. The reason why this is a good move for the New York Jets is because they were 29th in offense in points scored last season. Points scored 29th in the entire NFL. There's 30 teams, guys. They were in the bottom. They were in the bottom of the barrel in points scored. They were switching quarterbacks left and right because of injury, because of lack of consistency, because of you name it. They just weren't good at all. When you have to resort to Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
really? you know you got problems at the quarterback position.
100%.
The most important position in the entire league, let alone maybe even sports. Just come on now. Let's talk about this, guys. Aaron Rodgers is the best the Jets can hope for right now. Unless you go get Lamar Jackson, right?
I was thinking that too.
Unless you go get Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers is the best you could hope for. You have a good defense. They were top 5, 4th, if we're being honest. 4th ranked defense in the NFL last season. So you know they're going to be taken care of well. He has a stud young wide receiver there in Garrett Wilson. Someone who, imagine having Aaron Rodgers throwing to him, he's going to be a top wide receiver next season if that's the case. Trust me, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, this makes plenty of sense. It is very eerie and very coincidental that, he's literally moving like Brett Favre is. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Vikings next. Right?
Minnesota.
Man, don't even say that, man. You know what? I'm okay with him leaving and never coming back, okay?
It's very eerie,
man.
Very similar, but I think this is going to be different. I think the Jets is a good fit for Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers is a good fit for the Jets. Yes, the media will be on him more, but who gives a fuck? I mean, you play football, play quarterback, play football, and all is forgiven. Nobody's going to see a damn thing if you're playing the right way on the football field. Let's be honest, right? But I really do think because the Jets need a legit quarterback, Zach Wilson ain't it.
Yeah, Zach
Wilson. We know that. We all agree there. It's just that Rodgers, like we saw him in that game against Detroit, bro. We literally thought, okay, this is where Rodgers is going to show us he still got it. He's going to lead Green Bay to the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. Like he I don't know, bro. He just looks suspect toward the end of the year, just like not that same guy that could like put a team on his back and like drag him down. I know the Jets clearly got a better roster than Green Bay. We know that. But $60 million, you're taking a huge risk here, bro, especially if you're going to send picks to Green Bay and to take on that contract for.
Well, I think when I was reading a little earlier, I think Green Bay is still going to have to pay majority of that contract anyways, at least the guaranteed money part, right? And then after that, whatever the Jets can fill in or whatever the Jets can, give him out for the remainder of the contract, which is just giving out whatever the remainder of the contract is. But I think that the Packers will have to owe at least or have to pay, I think like 85 or 90% of that guaranteed money for him to move. Then I agree with Tony. I'll be happy just for him to get out of the division, which again, it brings circumstances back to not only the Chicago Bears, but just the whole division in general, right? Not only who's the number. I mean, right now, is it Kirk Cousins that's the number 1 quarterback in the division? But also,
Not
does it
me.
kind of like? Does it? Where am I trying to go here? Does it kind of like sour the fact that even when Ryan Poles says we want to take the North and never give it back, and Aaron Rodgers not being there, doesn't it feel like a little bit more like it's going to be less satisfying and that you're winning the North without Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, kind of like
it might be too much of a competitor right now.
Like when LeBron left the East.
Right.
Like, it's just not the same. Y'all never beat him. He just left,
Right. It's kind of like it's one of those situations where I kind of want to I want to take the North when that bastard is still in a Green Bay Packer uniform. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, like Tony is saying right here, I'm happy too just to get him the hell out of here because this man has been torturing us for the last 15, 12 years, whatever the case may be, however long he's been here. But it's weird. It's eerily similar, like Jose said, and like I mentioned earlier, how he's following the footsteps of Brett Favre, who had his past with him too as well. And to bring it back to the Chicago, to the North, like that's the question: who is literally the best quarterback in this division if and when Aaron Rodgers does leave to New York, Jose?
There's no undisputed.
Come on, Eric. You want me and everyone to know it's going to be Justin Fields, but. I think, and I'm projecting it's going to be someone like Justin Fields. He just has to prove it.
But like I'm talking about like right now, present day. I'm not talking about at the end of the year. I'm talking about before the season starts. Who's right now the certified, uncertified number 1?
With Aaron Rodgers still in the vision?
Without him being here.
Right. Well, then it's Justin Fields. To me, it is because of what you're talking about in the division, in the NFC North.
With the Vikings, the Packers,
I would
Jordan Love, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. Who was the number 1 out of those 4 quarterbacks in this division?
I would put Justin Fields over those 4 quarterbacks because you've got to see what Justin Fields is able to do with a roster, with a team that has nothing going for it last season I think you put Justin Fields on the Vikings, they're instantly better. I think you put Justin Fields on the Lions, they're instantly better. I think you put Justin Fields on the Packers, they're instantly better. You can't say that for any of the other three quarterbacks in that division. So I really do think it's Justin Fields, and that's just me. But I really do think that because you got to see what he did on a Bears team that had nothing going for it. So imagine when you put him on a Lions team, which offense was top 5, top 3. Imagine that they'd be great. Or Vikings when you have someone like Justin Jefferson, a legit wide receiver who could actually run routes and catch the ball when it's needed, or who's always open. Or even on the Packers I think even the Packers I think the Bears. No, the Packers have by default. The Packers have a better team than the Bears last season. But I think with Aaron Rodgers leaving, you're going to start to see that decline. And regardless of the fact, I would pick Justin Fields over Jordan Love any day of the week. But that's just me.
CP, who is the number 1 quarterback in this division once Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers does leave, between Goff, Cousins, Fields, and Jordan Love?
I mean, obviously the Bears and you would say Fields, but
it is Fields.
I mean, because Jared Goff played pretty good last year too. Cousins, obviously he has his moments, but I have to see Fields at his full potential with a roster. I can't just disputedly say, oh, he's better than the rest of those three because they had better rosters. I got to see him perform against those three for years to come. I can't just automatically say it just because I'm a Bears fan. I can't automatically say.
No, it has nothing to do with me being a Bears fan. The thing is, the rosters make so much sense. I guess the rosters help the quarterback just as much as the quarterback helped the rosters. I'm telling you, switch Justin Fields and Jared Goff.
Jared Goff was pretty good though.
No, but come on, put Jared Goff on the Bears last season.
I know where you're trying to go with Jose. I know where you're going with this, and I get that. We understand that.
He is the product of the Lions.
We get that, Jose, and I know where you're going with this. I understand that.
We
all see this. We know that Justin Fields is the better athlete out of everybody.
Hold on. Switch the quarterbacks from each team, and you tell me Justin Fields isn't the better between the two. If you put Jared Goff on the Bears last year and Justin Fields on the Lions last year, tell me there is a better.
Can we please just see Fields take the reins first? Can we just see him in a full year with a better roster?
And I get it as Bears fan, as a Bears fan, I get it. I understand, and I want to be right with you, right? But you have a guy who's been to a Super Bowl in Jared Goff and who actually played pretty decent for the Lions last year, who for some reason you had these high hopes and expectations after seeing Hard Knocks that these guys are going to be the whoopity-doo and whatever your words were for the season last year for the Detroit Lions.
That's Super Bowl you're talking about.
And the Minnesota Vikings who comfortably took this division by its reins and just rolled with it. And I get it, Kirk Cousins, we get the stigma of Kirk Cousins. We see it twice a year, and we know it throughout the whole entire National Football League. But Kirk Cousins is the best fantasy football / kind of regular season quarterback that can get you by and get you there, right? The CP said, and I get this, CP said that we have to see Justin Fields in its whole totality of actually having a good team around him. We get it. If you're listing these quarterbacks, Justin Fields will be number 1 just because of pure athleticism at the end of the day. And that's completely fine. Nobody's arguing that point, right? But give it the whole totality of the whole entire page. Justin Fields probably fits 3rd by default because we haven't seen him to his full potential. And the other 2 quarterbacks, Grant being it they've been in there a little bit longer, still can perform and still did better than Justin Fields record-wise and has a better team around them. And we get this, but they've been better and they played better and they have a better team than Justin Fields has. So by default, unfortunately,
you understand
Justin
what he's
Fields
saying, right?
Is 3rd in this division.
Understand what he's saying.
Real quick. Not only is Paulina beautiful and have great taste in men, but she's very smart. Look what she's saying here. The Vikings were held back by Kirk Cousins, which you just said, right? Yes. We know who he is. When he gets to the playoffs, he chokes, right? Kirk Cousins. They were held back by him. The Packers, believe it or not, were held back by Aaron Rodgers and that offense not being great. You can't say the same thing for the Bears. You can't say the Bears were held back by Justin Fields. The Bears held back Justin Fields. You can say the complete opposite of that.
And we understand that part.
But you can't say that he's not the better quarterback in the division today.
We don't know that for sure.
We don't know that for sure.
because
I know that for
right.
sure based off the talent and what I seen on the screen.
While we can say Justin
pure
Fields,
athleticism, he's there. He's the top one, and there's
right.
nobody else to compete. But as a game of football, that it's a team sport.
Bro.
That's
the
how
other two
we look at
quarterbacks
it.
have an advantage over him because they have a better roster, and the quarterbacks actually performed better than Justin Fields last year.
That's the thing you're talking about right now. He is the better quarterback. Athleticism. He's the better quarterback all around.
That's why you lose me there. I don't think he's better at throwing. I don't know if he's better at throwing the ball than Goff and Cousins because we haven't been able to see it yet. We've seen him throw the ball here and there, but we can't see it because we haven't seen his full potential with a great roster.
And we've seen Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff do it throughout the whole entire season when they have a better roster with him. Until we see a better
roster, though, that's the thing. So how can you sit here and say that Justin Fields with a better roster isn't going to be better than he was last season when he almost broke a record that hardly any other quarterback breaks?
Rushing record. That's part of his athleticism. We're talking about throwing the ball.
Regardless, do you not see the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, guys who have legitimate offensive lines, guys who have weapons to throw to, what they're able to do, and they're just as mobile as Justin Fields. We've only seen Justin run because he had nobody to throw to or anybody who could be
right.
open.
And we just saying, can we see him
all season long?
Can we see him throw it first? Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson proved themselves. Can Justin Fields prove himself?
But you see him throw. He makes throws. All you need
every once in a blue. Yes, he's made some throws. Yes. But we haven't seen it consistently
on a consistent basis.
When have we seen Justin Fields throw for 300 yards? And it's the lack of talent that's around this team, Jose. Until this team
consistently to throw to, it's not because of him.
And that's what we're talking about because Kirk Cousins can easily be left off the hook with Justin Jefferson. Jared Goff could be left off the hook by Amon St. Brown. They legit have wide receivers and weapons in that team where the Chicago Bears don't. And yes, we've seen it in spurts. We're not saying that this guy is trash, or we're not saying he's not. I legit just said athletic-wise, Justin Fields runs this division by country miles and miles and miles and miles. But we haven't seen the totality package of Justin Fields by passing the ball, which is a key component in playing quarterback.
You haven't seen it because he hasn't had no one to throw
and
it to.
And this is why we have to wait for this argument to happen because he hasn't had a wide receiver, tight end, or anything like that, Jose. While the other two have already.
That doesn't mean he can't do it. You guys are saying, we haven't seen it.
We're not saying he can't do it.
We're not saying that he can't do it. We're just saying that we need to see it.
You're putting Jared Goff above Justin Fields.
And rightfully so.
He's a better passer, yes. He's a better passer than Justin Fields at the moment.
So if you had the choice between the two right now, you would take Jared Goff, yes or no?
No.
So then why aren't you putting Justin Fields ahead of him? Makes no sense. Why? If he's a better passer and you need to pass to be your quarterback, why not take Jared Goff then? Why aren't you taking Jared Goff over Justin Fields?
Because we see the potential that Justin Fields has to throw and run the ball, whereas Goff is one-track minded. He can't do what Justin Fields does. I'm telling
you that he can do it. If we can see the potential, then we know in our hearts he can. He just needs a better roster. So if you put Justin Fields on the Vikings with Justin Jefferson or on the Lions with Amon St. Brown, you're going to see a better Justin Fields, a better quarterback than you've seen with either Jared Goff or Kirk Cousins. So by default,
those are all ifs.
Better quarterback.
Those are all ifs. Those are all ifs.
We see the roster built around Justin Fields first before we even have to do anything, bro. Like that's again, nobody is questioning the athleticism of Justin Fields. Not a single soul right now is questioning it. If we're talking about pure athleticism, that this is not even a debate. We're like, all right, it's Justin Fields. All right, next time.
But you're questioning him as a passer. Otherwise, you would put him first.
Right. We've only seen Justin Fields as a runner. With
literally
nothing.
You've seen passes, bro. You've seen passes.
We haven't. How many times have we seen Justin Fields throw over for 200 yards?
That's what I was just about to say.
Like when have we ever seen Justin Fields even having a 4 touchdown passing game?
How many wide receivers are
we saw it from Mitch, and everybody went yeah, woo woo, and all this other stuff. But with a better roster, But with Justin Fields, who has nothing, we've
Don't
only
do
seen that he's a better athletic
had a better
quarterback.
roster
And we
than
know
Justin Fields
this,
ever
man.
did.
We see this, man.
Mitch
We've
had a
seen that
better
Justin Fields is
roster
a
than
better
Justin
athletic
Fields did.
quarterback than anybody in this division, hands down by country miles, if Aaron Rodgers was in the division or not.
Bro,
But
Mitch
we
had a
haven't seen Justin
Mitch
Fields
had a
in
better
a totality package of him running,
Mitch had a
him
better
reading the
defense.
defenses,
He wasn't
him throwing
always
the
out
ball
there getting his ass whooped.
confidently, with
Mitch had a better
confidence
O-line.
in windows to do so. And,
Mitch
and,
had
with
better wide
we've seen
receivers.
videos of him missing wide receivers wide open because he doesn't have that confidence in him to throw the ball. And until we actually see Justin Fields throwing the ball with a little bit more vindication, then maybe, just maybe, yes, he's going to be the best quarterback in this division. He has the potential, like you said, yes. But we have to see it in an overall package of Justin Fields doing it, running, throwing, reading, and doing what a quarterback is supposed to do.
Right, instead of just taking off as soon as you're about to get sacked. Like,
Exactly.
we understand we're not blaming him. It's not his fault. But 2,200 yards in a 17-game season, like, I can't definitively just say he's better than 3 other quarterbacks.
The thing is, but the thing is, you guys are making it seem like he's only doing that because he doesn't have the arm talent or the necessities to throw a ball. And that's what I'm saying is, like, come on now. If you see potential, then you should know that he's able to do it, right? You can't see potential and not know that he can't throw the ball. We see it. We know.
That's what I'm saying. We going off a short sample size. We don't have a lot to
potential
go
can only
off.
take you for so long. Potential can only take you so long. There's potential everywhere in the NFL with all these type of players. Simply when they come out of college or different teams, there's potential.
Why haven't you seen it, Eric? Why haven't we seen it? Why haven't we seen it?
Because there's no team around him, and until we actually see a team around him and see it do it confidently with vindication of him throwing the football, then this conversation takes a different toll next year, where we actually can say, okay, Justin Fields is that man. We see it, we believe, we're talking about it. We feel like he's that man.
But we just like,
but we just need to see if he could take that next step of actually being a quarterback and throwing the ball and get with confidence, without hesitation. Where you could throw the ball on a dime to it could even be Chase Claypool for all I care that we gave up a second round draft pick for.
Would you trade Justin Fields for Jared Goff?
Why no?
Yes or no?
Man.
But he's not. But Jared Goff's the best quarterback today. Why wouldn't you?
Because we know what Jared Goff is. We know where Kirk Cousins is. We know what we've seen enough with Jordan Love. Obviously, Jordan Love's not on none of their level anyway. But we know
Jordan Love by default is number 4 because
but we know what Goff and Cousins is. We know pretty much half of what Justin Fields is. And that is an amazing runner.
And just
you're going to call him an amazing passer?
Better than all three of those guys.
He's an amazing passer to you right now?
He doesn't have to be an amazing passer to be better than Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins.
I'm just saying he's not a better passer than them.
Come on, man.
Because he hasn't been able to show it yet.
He doesn't have to be a better quarterback than those two guys. Come on.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that so-called have arm talent in this league, and we've seen it from here. But like, we need to see it in a complete format that this guy, okay, all right, we could see that he could throw the ball. Okay, great. There's some tight spirals from Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet. And all the other wide receivers that the Bears have had and running backs, and I get that, right? We've seen it, but it's just like it's like, but we have to see it week in and week out. I'd rather him have more passing yards than rushing yards, and passing yards kind of be equal. You know what I mean? And his passing yards barely crack over 150 yards. I need more. A quarterback. What's a quarterback for you? Him throwing over 250 yards, probably tossing 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns in the air instead of running for. You know what I mean? And I get it. You occasionally have to run, and there are designs for it. But you have to see the full package before you actually claim him as number 1. Again, I'm just saying this right now. Justin Fields, athletic-wise, is the best quarterback in this division, and it's hands down. And there's no debating about it. But as a whole package where Kirk Cousins
I had
led
the
Minnesota
same knock
Vikings,
on Lamar Jackson.
I get it.
Before the Ravens gave Lamar Jackson a roster, I used to say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. And what did he do? He came back the next year, won MVP, and he proved me wrong. Can Justin Fields please do that?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Look, I was going to say Derek Carr, but I guess I can use Kirk Cousins too. Kirk Cousins has a great arm. Kirk Cousins could throw the ball. We've seen this. But it's more than just being able to throw the ball. It's more than, as a quarterback, yes, your job is to throw, but it's not the only thing you need. You need the other intangibles. You need to be a winner. What is Kirk Cousins' knock on him? Oh, he chokes. He's not as consistent. Justin Fields has shown us all season long that he can be consistent. It doesn't matter which team it is, whether it's a bottom of the barrel team or a top team, he's going to show up and show out. He has the clutch gene. He has the winning gene. He makes great decisions. He can't throw the ball because he can't. There's nobody to throw it to. So what does he do? He runs, but he knows when to do it. To do this quick, to do this fast, to do this. His mind is just—it's insane. You need that. Imagine
You said he has the winning gene. He had only won 3 games last year.
Yes, but that's not because of him. I think you put him on any of those teams. I'm telling you, Eric.
We get that because it's better talent, Jose. We get that. It's better talent that he doesn't have here. But we haven't seen if he could actually do it. You can say that he could. You get Justin Jeffersons and everybody in this and then put him in this situation. Obviously, Justin Fields is going to do this and do that. I get that, but we really haven't seen him actually do it. That's the thing. Like, we haven't. We only see him break the pocket, run here, run there. Occasionally have a good throw here and there. Occasionally have a good throw here. Getting sacked, running the ball. We've seen him scramble as a scramble quarterback and as a running quarterback. But that's how a lot of people are viewing him as a running quarterback. Until we see that passing game consistently in this league, that's where you kind of take, like CP just said, the transition from Lamar being just a runner to a passer and proving not just us, because we know what he's about, but the whole National Football League. And notice,
there's so many episodes in this show where you claim Justin Fields already to be the better in the division, even with Aaron Rodgers and him. There's so many times where you were up here and said he's already the best quarterback in the entire division, and this isn't that. And all of a sudden, now you want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, no, it's Jared Goff." Why? I don't know. I don't know what made you think otherwise. But you can't sit here and tell me that you guys know in your heart of hearts he's going to be better. Just because you haven't seen it, you guys know in your heart of hearts he's legitimately better. He just has to, for whatever reason, prove it to you. But you know damn well he's going to. You know damn well he's going to have a better roster next year. You know damn well he's going to be a better passer next year. Evidently, he's not going to run as much because he's not going to need to. And he's going to start to develop as a passer. And you're going to see, damn, you know what? This guy is legit. But you got to see it. Whatever. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I'm sitting here and telling you, I already know that's a fact.
Right. I don't think there's nothing wrong with considering.
So I'm choosing Justin Fields all day, every day. You guys can choose Jared Goff until you.
No. I am not in no way, shape, or form choosing Jared Goff. I don't have a best quarterback in that division. I'm just saying he's not definitively better than the others because I haven't seen enough from him. The most yards he threw for last year, bro, was 254. The most yards he had in the game was 254. I ain't seen quarterbacks put that up over a 13, 14 game period, and that was the most he did all year. I can't. I'm wrong from wanting more from that.
No, but that's not his fault.
And again, this is why we kind of need him in a totality package where you can do this convincingly.
If he was doing that on a Vikings roster, if he was doing that on the Raiders roster, if he was doing it any other roster than the Bears had last year, then I agree with you 100%. This wouldn't even be a discussion. But you're doing it with guys the guys we were talking so much crap about this team all season long. It's not a surprise why his stats look the way it is. Eric, you're the biggest guy that says stats say one thing, but you got to see the actual game. You got to see the actual talent around it. You say it more than anybody in this show. How are you going to sit here and say, "Oh, well, yeah, the stats say this"? Come on, man. You know damn well it's not his fault.
I'm just saying that we see it that he's the better athlete out of everybody. I just want to see it in a whole total package, bro. I'm not really saying anything. I'm agreeing with you. He's the best quarterback, athletic quarterback in this division.
We're literally on your side, Jose.
Right. We're
literally on your side. What the fuck?
I know. No, but you guys know what I'm arguing is the fact that you guys wouldn't put him number one definitively right now today. There's no way you can convince me that Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. There's no way in hell. None. That is what we're arguing.
No, I know that.
I know we are.
I know we are. We get that. But again, last year we saw Kirk Cousins with a better team being the number one team in this division. We saw Jared Goff beating a lifeless Packers team, I guess you can say, and a team that turned it around, and a team that you rooted for throughout the whole entire season because of the Hard Knocks. Have a better season with a season that nobody thought they were going to have because of the better roster. Jared Goff who was left hung out to dry in Los Angeles, came and sort of kind of resurrected his career with the Detroit Lions and having this type of year. We get all of that. We're not choosing them over Justin Fields. We will say Justin Fields all day, every day. But I'm saying as a totality package between the three quarterbacks, because we're not giving no love to Jordan. It's just we just need to see that passing. If he could form that passing game that was truly missed because there was lack of talent in this team, then we're like, all right, cool. It's Justin Fields' division, and everybody else is going to come with second, third, and fourth.
What you asked is who's number one. You guys looked at me like I was crazy when I said Justin Fields. That's the only reason why we're arguing here. If you guys would have said anything else, then that's the only reason why we're arguing. Because I say Justin Fields, and you guys are like, "There's no way. There's no way she hasn't proved shit." I'm like, what are you talking about? I would choose him, and you would all choose him every day.
To be honest, if there was a legit ranking, it would be like Goff, Cousins, Fields, and then Jordan Love.
I would put Fields before Cousins, but like I don't think we realized, like Jose, I don't think you realized the year Jared Goff had last year. He low-key had an amazing year. He was top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in touchdowns. He only threw 7 interceptions.
And that's fine.
And the Lions, it's not like the Lions have this amazing roster. They got St. Brown, yeah, but come on, man. Like, their roster isn't all that.
Hell, they got rid of their damn best tight end to the Vikings. They gave him to the Vikings, and he still ended up throwing those.
Offensively, they had a top 3 offensive. They have a top 3 team
because of Jared Goff.
Not just because of Jared Goff. It was an overall team. Look, I get what you're saying. I don't want to sit here and say that he didn't have a great year. I'm just saying you put Justin Fields on that team, he would have had a better year. That's all I'm saying. And the Lions would have made the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would pick Justin Fields over Jared. Jared Goff had a great year, 100%. I'm not disputing that. I'm just telling you, if I had a choice, if you give me that offense and I had a choice, I would choose Justin Fields every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
And there's nothing wrong with that neither.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I agree with you. There's legit nothing wrong with that. But we just it's easy to throw it and to put him in there and be like, yeah, he's the best quarterback. This team is a little bit better. Yet when we have to see him if he could legit chuck the ball consistently. That's all. That's all we need. That's probably the only game and the only thing that we have on Justin Fields that we haven't seen because of the lack of talent that he has on this team. That is all. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think we're saying anything bad about it. Like CP said, the most that he has thrown is 250 yards in a single season. That's the most he has thrown so far in his all last season. There's quarterbacks that did that almost in a quarter.
Stop saying that. Those other quarterbacks didn't have to deal with this roster, bro. The fact that
I understand that, Jose. But we've seen that Justin Fields can do great things, can perform very well.
You're bringing it up as if it's a knock on him. Your point.
Not a knock on him. I'm not saying it's a knock on him. It's just the lack of talent that he has on this roster that we literally just talked about almost all last year.
But your whole point is to prove why you wouldn't choose him. Why you wouldn't put him right now above Jared Goff? Oh, because
I don't think that's a bad choice. And I think I'm over exaggerating a little bit. I think I'm putting Cousins over Justin Fields. I think I'll put Goff and then Fields.
Eric, but if you're using that statement as to why you would put Goff over him, that's a knock on Justin Fields. No, but it's not. It's supposed to be a knock on the team. If you're comparing quarterbacks,
that's okay, Jose. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you're comparing quarterback stats, then you're saying Jared Goff is a better quarterback Justin Fields based off those stats. But you can't sit there and say those are Justin Fields type stats throwing when it's not his fault.
CP, have I been saying it's not his fault that he's surrounded with a lack of talent?
But what are you saying when you say, he's only thrown 200 yards, bro? What are you trying to say?
Because I'm literally just saying because of the lack of talent on this team, bro. Like I don't know what you want me to say. I get it. We see the talent that this dude has, but the team around him isn't that great, bro. And I get that. I'm right with you here and there. It's okay to say that Justin Fields that is not the best quarterback at the moment because we haven't seen that part of his game yet. There's nothing wrong with that. We know he's the.
That's fine.
We've literally just
saying
said,
don't like. He just saying leave out the knock.
He is the better athlete amongst all the quarterbacks in this division.
That's fine. All I'm trying to say is don't bring up the stats when it's not his fault. Don't bring up that because that's knocking him. Everything else you said is great. 100%.
But there's nothing wrong with knocking him though. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is. You're basically, by you knocking him on those stats, you're basically saying those are his stats and his stats alone. That the reason why he has those stats is because that's all he can do last year. But it's not because of talent. And you know that. We know what you're saying.
I'm not holding the stats against him.
Yes, don't hold the stats against him. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't hold it against him. But you're doing that by bringing that up. Why bring it up then? Why?
Because it's true.
No,
it's true, bro. Like it's true. Like, am I wrong for that? It's true.
All right, that's fine. We can move on. I don't think you can get what I'm saying, but it's okay.
Hold on, let me look at what's next. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms. Here on
where's Johnny?
Here on social media, follow us on all our social media platforms, Star 6 Media, and also the Star 6 Media have other podcasts too, like Only Football, that shows up every twice a week. And what days is it? Only Football? Mondays and Fridays, Tuesdays and Fridays.
No, it's Only Football comes on Mondays and Thursdays.
And Thursdays.
Yeah,
you get to watch Only Football Mondays and Thursdays here on the Star 6 Media platform every Monday and Thursday. Here's a little promo for them real quick.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle.
And I'm Rick, and welcome to Only Football, where we talk about everything going on in the NFL. You can catch our live streams on Mondays for trivia and Q&A, Thursdays for news around the league, as well as episodes of Only Football with Kyle that you can catch on Instagram and YouTube every Wednesday.
Follow us to keep up with the latest football news, trades, off-season rumors, and our favorite conspiracies here on Only Football. See ya!
See ya!
That's Kyle and Rick on Only Football. You guys can see every Monday and Thursday on Only Football too as well. And also don't forget,
they got a time.
This show today, main event. You guys got a time, right? The main event's live today after our show.
Yeah. What is their time? I believe. Let me find out. Yeah, hold on. The Only Football show. I'll tell you right now.
This is the fact. Main event. Following after this show, the JCA Sports Podcast, the main event will be live with Jose and his brother Ricky as they go over the WWE, AEW over the weekend and on Monday Night Raw, and also the UFC fight that happened over the weekend too as well. Cutting the promo for that.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the main event of the evening. Alongside my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras, I'm Jose Contreras, and we are here to bring you guys all the latest and greatest topics in combat sports.
That's right, Jose. We're going to talk WWE, AEW, UFC, boxing, all the mixed martial arts. We'll even get into the backstage stuff, all the controversy. Just make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m.
And like I said, we'll be here, guys, next week. Rick, we'll see you, man.
So that's Jose and his brother Ricky doing all combat sports right after the show, right after we wrap this up eventually during the JCA Sports Podcast.
Yeah,
who's older, him or you?
Ricky is. Ricky is. Yeah, usually
right, Jose looks much older.
I feel
right?
bad. I thought Jose was.
No. That's he keeps himself in shape. No, but usually we're on Tuesdays, and we couldn't do it yesterday, so we're actually gonna go on live after this show tonight. So make sure to stick around.
Yeah, so stick around. They're going to get all the combat sports what happened yesterday, Monday Night Raw, and everything over the weekend too as well. And now I remember where we're going on. So apparently there's a player in the Chicago Bulls that say they just flat out suck. Okay, maybe I just interpret that a little bit wrongly, but Vooch came out the other day with a statement. The other day, let me see where you got him out. I have it right here. He said he's very unhappy and disgruntled with the leadership that seems to be a dysfunctional all around the team, and has always started at the top with the people who constructed it all. So that's basically a little bit what Vooch said.
That's not what he said. That the source, those are
what the sources said.
But what Vooch came out and said when he was asked yesterday, when he was asked if the Bulls can turn it around to make the playoffs, he says maybe 30 games ago, but it doesn't seem like it's what is it? I have it here.
It doesn't seem like they could do it at all.
Oh my god.
Yeah, see, it says Vooch on turning the season around maybe 30 games ago, but now it's hard to look. And it's just exactly true. I didn't want to talk about this because I knew I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago, but just because there was a player that actually came out and said this, I guess this is why we're having the talking point about it, right? About the Chicago Bulls not making the playoffs. The other day, and what was it, yesterday or the other day, I forgot. There was a post that I saw that the Bulls have an 8% chance of making the playoffs and an 8.48% chance of getting the number one pick. So I sent out a question that everybody ignored. What 8% would you rather have? The 8% for the number one pick or the 8% for the playoffs? Looks like they're not even going to make the playoffs at all, especially with Vooch saying this, making it seem like maybe people have quit. Maybe people have looked something different through the front office or the coaching staff. CP, reading this comment, this small little line that you have from him, what do you take from this? What do you from Vooch saying this?
I mean, two things. I mean, it's like you said. It sounds like the team is pretty much giving up, and it sounds like to me Vooch is going in the offseason, and the Bulls missed out on getting something for him in the trade. I said it. I've been saying it. I saw it in Vooch's body language. He's looked this way all season. I'm like, Chicago, man, you got to deal with this man. Like I can see in his face, he doesn't want to be here. He's not feeling the vibe on this team, and like you're going to miss out on getting something. A lot of people need a decent center like Vooch. You could have got a lot for him. Now, his body and the way he's talking like that, this comment told me everything you know. He's as good as gone, bro. Like he's gone. And you look at the rest of their. First of all, they're already 7 games under 500. Yes, they're 7 games under 500, but if you look at the rest of their schedule, it's pretty rough. Like I don't see any chance of them even making the playoffs. And now, Jose, I've been with you on that number one pick thing this whole time. That was the first thing on my mind when they came out this All-Star break, especially when they started beating like a good team. They who they had beat? They had beat one of the good teams, but
I think it was Boston.
Yeah, I think they beat Boston. I'm just like, okay. Like, where do we go from here? I thought there might have been a chance, but like you had to come out the All-Star break firing, and they haven't exactly done that. I mean, the loss to the Pacers, the loss to the Raptors, it was just like, hey, I mean, what do we do now? And look where we are. We're 2 games ahead of Orlando to fall behind. If we can fall behind them, I would love that.
Me too.
Because obviously with the changes to the draft, people can't tank anymore, get that number one pick. It's a free for all with San Antonio, Houston, Charlotte, Detroit. If Chicago can fall into that area, they might have a shot. But that's the only thing I'm hoping out of this, because I knew from the jump they had no shot of making the playoffs. I thought Pat Bev might light a spark into them, and for like 2-3 games he did, but clearly that wasn't enough with Vooch making these comments, and we're going to lose him. We might lose out on number one pick. The pick probably ends up going to Orlando because the Bulls don't know if they want to win or lose. So it's just a disaster right now.
I agree with you 100%. I've been saying it throughout the whole entire year since the season started. The fact that I'm saying it and I was saying it and we had to wait for a player from the team to say it, I guess comes into, I guess I was right throughout the whole entire time. What player they're talking about, what players they're talking about, obviously it's up for discussion on who we believe or who do we think, right? But he said it goes up above management too as well, and how they constructed this team. So it comes to point out in this to the fact that it just the Chicago Bulls to me just the whole signing just feels wrong.
They have no direction.
Shine the light. Or if you want to shine the light. But what do you honestly get out of this from Vooch and his comments that he just made?
So the reason why I wanted to talk about this today was because I'm disappointed in Vooch for even saying it. I get it. It may be his real fit, but that's not something that's like you're down on yourself, you're down on your team. Like I get it. Like me, like Eric, John, CP, we could say it, right? Because we're not part of that team. We're not in that locker room. We can sit here and say, oh, they're done. But as a competitor, how do you sit here and look around you and see these guys busting their ass? You bust your ass.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? It's just not going to happen. It's almost like, to me, you're kind of
giving up,
losing hope, but it's kind of it's almost as bad as giving up.
No fire.
But in his defense, though, he's probably the only one that probably has competed throughout the most of the season. The double doubles that this man has put up, right? And you know me, I criticize the Bulls a lot simply because of what they did this whole entire offseason. But if there's one guy to actually say something like this, it's Vooch. Because you can say this, oh, it's unfortunate, the writing on the wall, blah, 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 this and that. But the guy has kind of been your most consistent player throughout the whole entire season with the numbers that he put up and then sometimes the games that he has played. He occasionally comes up with the big shots here and there for them. You know where he's going to do on the boards. Double machine. So if there's somebody to say something, it's him. Now imagine if Zach LaVine said this. What would Terry's asking
exactly.
you one? Right? Imagine if DeMar DeRozan said this. We're looking at him like, bro, are you really here for the with the Chicago Bulls? This and that. It's Vucevic, who is literally almost out the door, like CP said, who is also the guy that actually has been performing for your team throughout the whole entire season. It depends on who's saying it. And to be honest, I saw this months ago. But the fact that Vuce is coming saying this right now, saying that, well, now it's too late. Well, yeah, it's too late. Now you're in basketball hell because you lean a little bit more this way, you miss out on this. Or if you lean more on this way, you miss out on that. And that's the playoffs or the number one pick or getting a high draft pick. And if you're stuck in balance and limbo, well, guess what? You lose out on everything because your pick that you have this year is not yours because the guy that is leaving you is the reason why you're not getting that first round pick.
And that's where it all goes back to, like, the fact that our pick that we traded for this guy, like Vooch, we know Vooch is leaving, bro. And the fact we're going to lose him in the top pick, it just stings that much more. But as a competitor, I'm with Jose, bro. You don't never make a comment like that as a basketball player. Imagine if LeBron or KD or any of these top players said something crazy like this. They would be getting ripped to shreds, bro. And like you said, we would be on Levine as if he said something like this.
Right.
Vooch is just showing the little fire he has. Like, he's showing that he's giving up. He's showing that he's clearly leaving. And that comment just put it out the window. Just like, yeah.
That comment is perfect to what this season is.
Exactly.
It's a hot mess. It's just a hot mess between the Bulls. But the thing is, for me, is the fact that if you're management, if you're the front office, if Billy Donovan, the fact that you're letting stuff like this get out, you're letting players, this just all around shows there's no discipline, man. There's no culture here. You could blame Zach LaVine all you want. You can blame the players all you want, but you could have shitty players or players with no talent, but have overall better performances and a better team if the structure up top is there. And for me, this is a knock on Arturas Castanovas because you put this team together and it's not working out. This is a knock on Billy Donovan because you are the coach. Come on, man. But look, the thing is, Eric, you're shaking your head, but it's like you're letting Zach LaVine do what he wants. You're letting Nikola Vucevic say what he wants. Where is the discipline? None of this would happen under a coach like Greg Popovich. None of this would happen under a coach like Eric Spoelstra, like a coach like Mike
Budenholzer.
Yeah, Mike, you name it, Mike Budenholzer. This wouldn't happen with those type of coaches. And it has nothing to do with them. And this doesn't really have nothing to do with schematics. This has more to do with how you are coaching, with how you are disciplining your team, how you have your team in order. And it's not
too talented to be 29 and 36. Way too talented. Too much talent on the team.
I agree with you guys, and this is why I had my little spite throughout the whole entire season, and the fact of why I didn't want to sign Zach LaVine, and the only reason why I didn't want to sign like Zach LaVine or anything like that, right? I think AK came into this project and be like, let me put this Band-Aid, see how long this Band-Aid can stick, and see what I can get out of these guys, right? You see what AK can do. Hell, they're playing the team that the guy built right now at the moment, and AK can build a team. He's just putting a Band-Aid on a team that was given to him that maybe or maybe not Jerry Reinsdorf said, hey,
that was
see
terrible.
What you can do with this team, and then whatever happens, happens. That's why, to me, you can blame on top all you want, and that's fine and that's great. But I think AK did whatever he could do to compete what was left with Zach LaVine. And I think that's where it is right there. You bring in Billy Donovan. It worked out for a little bit, time being. The Lonzo Ball injury changed everything in the trajectory of this team and the organization, how it worked, and how it had an easy flow to it. But at the same time, it just kind of felt like after to me, AK felt this staying complacent thing was more of his way of saying, all right, it's my turn to take over this team. I'm just going to get over through the whole entire year, and there's going to be changes coming up to the whole entire year. I was with you guys for a minute about, come on, let's make the playoffs and stuff like that. I was pretty upset that didn't happen because I see the potential that this team can have in making the playoffs. But that just went away after the first 10 games of the season because I already knew the writing on the wall.
I'm more inclined. I'm more and more inclined to root for losses with you, Eric. It sucks, but I just don't see it either.
Ever since I did that, I've been so happy watching the Chicago Bulls. Like, I'm not even hate watching them anymore, bro. Like, I'm just rooting for. Like, I get mad when they win, but when they lose, man, I go to sleep so
Such a
happy,
good
bro.
feeling.
Simply because I changed my tone, and it just feels so great. And it's sad to say because this is showing the apathy of a Bulls fan that has been dealing with shit for so long since the Derrick Rose era, where we had that little small hope and spark that it could finally turn around. The Bulls could be the Bulls again that we grown up, at least when we were little, grew up and watched. And ever since that injury, the ACL injury, bro, like it's just been shit throughout this whole entire time. With AK, with Jerry still being there, but with Gar and Pax, and now with AK and Eversley, bro. I'm just kind of like, all right.
And Jose, you like it's starting to look like you was right about the whole Billy Donovan thing, because remember back in a few years, back in those 2013, 2014 years when when Rose was dealing with all the injuries and stuff, Tom Thibodeau didn't always have a good roster.
Exactly.
But the Bulls were still finding a ways to get to that top 4 seed with Nate Robinson and
John Lucas III.
Right.
Watson.
Making Joakim Noah, Luol Deng.
Right.
He was making top 4 seed with these guys because he instilled that fire in them. I just don't see that from Billy Donovan when these guys go out there to play. They just out there just like playing open gym or something like, oh, you go do this, or there's no control. There's nothing. When he calls a timeout, they're rolling their eyes.
Yes,
bro.
And it sucks for him. I don't want to blame him, but like that's your job is to get these guys in line in order. And you can't do that, bro. It's like, then what's the point?
And Vooch's comment lets you know he don't respect Billy Donovan.
Exactly.
I mean, even though there was structure with Tom Thibodeau and everybody was playing hard, remember in the locker room they didn't have seats; they had hospital beds too, guys. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit because Joakim Noah almost had no feet, and Luol Deng almost had no life, bro. So
did you hear any complaints though?
No.
Yeah, right. They almost killed the whole Bulls, bro.
They all kept going back to him. Rose went back to him.
They respected the hustle, even though their kneecaps and their feet and their toes were being amputated at the same time as they were
Jimmy
playing.
Butler said he will always have respect for Tom Thibodeau.
That's a leader, though. You know what I'm saying?
Jimmy Butler would probably be the only one that will just he got that dog in him because of Tom Thibodeau, and that's absolutely right. I'm also on slowly but surely getting on your side too. Every time I'm seeing these Bulls play a little bit, that Billy Donovan is probably also out the door, or maybe he might stick around and just have this rebuild process with him because he has the NBA experience, and with the new squad, it may or may not be different. I don't know, but with this core, this Vooch, this Zach LaVine, this DeMar DeRozan, I feel like they're gonna blow it up.
Is a rebuild even possible right now?
I don't know, man. It's
playoffs.
I mean, DeMar has what 1 or 2 years left.
A year left in his contract.
Okay, and obviously you got LaVine for the full, and
like 4 more years after.
Right, and Vooch is on his way out. So like, if you're gonna rebuild, what do you try to trade Zach and trade DeMar?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point. I mean, unless if you would right now at this moment.
Real quick, guys, before I gotta go because I gotta start this show coming up in 10 minutes. So I gotta get ready for that. But to answer your question, CP, I don't know how. This team right now is literally constructed to where like I have no idea how they're gonna do it. Like you'll have to go through a shitload of bad to even get to a good. And I hope maybe Carson Novas is a genius. Maybe he can turn it around somehow, some way. But I can't see it.
You got to move a lot of pieces around, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely know that.
Yeah.
No, that's for damn sure.
All right, guys, I'm out.
All right, Jose, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Make sure you guys tune into the main event right now.